Buddhist teachings offer guidance to navigate life's challenges and find inner peace. Let's explore these principles together. As a human being, immerse yourself in good deeds, for they are the source of true happiness and will accompany you through all existences. Be mindful in every action and thought. When your eyes see, ears hear, nose smells, tongue tastes, body touches, and mind thinks, maintain awareness. Integrate practice into daily life, as mastering it only in the meditation hall is insufficient to overcome defilements. Understand both the external and internal worlds clearly. Sitting in meditation is training the mind to perceive tranquility, acknowledge the sensations and states of peace, and familiarize the mind with this calmness. Upon ceasing meditation and returning to daily life, the mind remembers that serenity, viewing external matters as disturbances. It recalls the peace experienced in meditation. Though daily life continues with its demands, a mind accustomed to peace remains undisturbed by the surrounding chaos. The mind will not interfere or manage, but will only observe, understanding and letting go. This is true detachment. Thinking about detachment or resignation is insufficient. The mind must be trained until it inherently knows how to release and let go. Through practice, the mind gains wisdom and understands how to relinquish. With familiarity, external impacts are immediately recognized, and the mind can swiftly cut off those cycles. Defilements have 6 routes to invade the heart, the 6 senses: eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. Be vigilant over these pathways. Strive to move from darkness to light, from impurity to purity, from chaos to clarity. Practice daily. While walking meditation, commit to following the Buddha, his teachings, and the enlightened monks. Their path remains, so do not waste time listening to claims that the religion has declined. The teachings remain eternal. What declines is the human mind. Those who claim decline are those who do not practice genuinely or deeply enough, or at all. One who practices and realizes the truth finds joy and enlightenment. Life is uncertain, but death is certain. Therefore, accumulate good deeds, benefiting yourself through giving, observing morality, developing wisdom, and meditating. This benefits oneself. Meditation is accessible anytime, anywhere, not just in temples or bedrooms. Before sleeping, try focusing on your breath for 5 to 10 minutes without thinking, allowing the mind to rest and experience comfort, a worthwhile investment compared to endless cycles of rebirth without peace. The Buddha taught us to benefit ourselves and others with diligence. Birth, aging, death, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief, and despair revolve among those lost in ignorance. Ignorance is not knowing, thus, one is lost. Knowing and being lost are opposites. If the mind wanders into thought, be aware. If it gets lost in sights, recognize that it is lost in form. Knowing this causes the form to cease, and the knowing mind arises. To understand this, find a quiet space and observe your thoughts, whether with eyes closed or open, sitting or reclining. Initially, thoughts may be elusive, but with continued observation, you will see them arise. Do not engage with the thoughts, simply watch them. The thought will persist briefly and then fade away. At that moment, you will realize the mind's freedom from thought. As one thought fades, another emerges. Continue being the observer, knowing when it arises, how long it lasts, and when it disappears. With practice, you'll clearly see the birth and death of thoughts, understanding the law of impermanence. When the mind sees thoughts as impermanent, unsatisfactory, and without inherent self, it recognizes them as mere constructs. This understanding gradually loosens attachment, leading to detachment. Purifying the mind requires mental stability achieved through concentration. Train the mind to be stable and peaceful, to contemplate states as they are truly. Without a calm, stable mind with the power of concentration, even great intelligence becomes mere intellectualization, unable to expel defilements. Listening to teachings requires setting aside duties, ceasing physical work and speech, and preventing the mind from wandering. Focus internally, using Buddha or breath to keep the mind engaged with the practice that suits you. Draw your mind back from its wanderings, directing it inward. With intention, the teachings will touch the heart without needing to analyze the speaker's words. Be mindful and aware, contemplating the teachings. Serious consideration of the Buddha's teachings can loosen desires, seeing the truth and not being deluded by worldly illusions. The mind will find distaste because the teachings go against conventional thinking. Strive to go against the flow of the mind, not letting it follow the senses and desires. The more you resist this flow, the further the mind stays from suffering, delusion, and discontent. No matter how much one craves or acquires, death prevents taking anything along. Material possessions remain worldly, fought over due to delusion. At death, one departs empty-handed, even the cherished body is left behind. Consider how dogs fight over food, despite each having their own portion. This behavior stems from greed and selfishness, blinding them to what they already possess. Humans who mimic this become lower than animals. Having evolved beyond that state, why revert to such behavior? Monks often remind us to maintain our humanity and not sink back into animalistic tendencies, as that existence is long and filled with fleeting pleasures replaced by suffering. Both joy and sorrow are temporary and impersonal. Observe when joy arises from satisfying desires, noting how long it lasts and if it remains constant. You'll notice its impermanence, with joy and sorrow intermingling. If unwavering, it would remain constant, but its transient nature shows it lacks inherent existence. Reflect on whether you've had enough of joy and sorrow, and seek to diminish selfishness, as all beings are fellow travelers on the path to enlightenment. Reduce self-centeredness to find peace. Do not be complacent, assuming future rebirths will bring wealth and freedom from suffering. Life is uncertain, so use your time wisely by maximizing your benefits. Engage in activities that yield the highest good. Contemplate the setting sun, reflecting on the fleeting nature of time and the need to create value. Discard what is meaningless and bravely let go, realizing that the best time to release suffering is now. Recognize that the world offers nothing and merely uses us. Ultimately, everything is empty, representing non-self. Only fools cling to this emptiness, gaining nothing but emptiness itself. Both happiness and suffering are interconnected, with happiness arising from suffering and vice versa. Discomfort, solitude, and profound peace are fleeting emotions that can lead to attachment to pleasant sensations. The time when you lie down to sleep is a golden opportunity. Use this time to observe your mind and thoughts, noting their arising and ceasing, which enhances mindfulness. Concentration can arise during sleep, leading to mental clarity and solutions to lingering problems. Do not waste this precious time dwelling on others' faults, but focus on self-improvement. No one is inherently superior or inferior, it is the mind that makes them so. If others see themselves as superior, let them believe so, it does not concern you. Engaging with it only leads to negative emotions like anger, resentment, envy, and jealousy. Without mindfulness, these emotions go unnoticed. Therefore, prioritize mindfulness to manage your heart and not be consumed by negativity. Mindfulness allows for broader perspectives, preventing attachment to immediate feelings. When the mind doesn't cling, it finds emptiness, knowing emptiness and thoughts as they arise and pass. Regular practice cultivates mindfulness, which then acts as an automatic controller. With mindfulness, one knows what is right and wrong, good and bad, leading to inner peace. Mindfulness grows through breath awareness, anapanasati, the path to awakening. Persevere in developing these qualities, and results will naturally follow. All answers lie within. The heart is the greatest authority. Good and evil stem from the heart, and even small acts of merit are significant. Contentment means being satisfied with what you have according to your abilities. Generosity yields rewards. Giving alms leads to a divine body, donating property leads to a divine mansion, and giving teachings leads to divine wisdom, surpassing all other forms of giving. As death approaches, the mind seeks either good or bad deeds, disregarding material wealth. Those who have accumulated merit will be guided accordingly, while those with bad deeds will follow that path. Live without arrogance, recognizing your role as a beneficial person. Remind yourself daily that the body is only a temporary residence, lasting but a short time before it must be returned. During life, mindfulness is key. Cultivate it to avoid forgetfulness and delusion. Practice morality to establish peace, as morality leads to normalcy, which enhances mindfulness. Nothing protects us better than mindfulness. With mindfulness and awareness, the heart becomes steadfast, which is true concentration. Concentration is not limited to closed-eye meditation but can occur anytime with a steadfast heart. Beginners start with closed-eye meditation to familiarize the mind with concentration. However, some boast about long meditation sessions, leading others to wrongly believe that prolonged sitting equates to enlightenment. Visions during meditation can be misleading. Focus instead on whether the mind is deluded by these visions. If attachment persists, one has not yet overcome defilements. Deceptive visions may arise. A skilled teacher will advise against focusing on visions to avoid attachment, urging you to observe the mind's reactions. Mindfulness is invaluable in recognizing these reactions and preventing delusion. With mindfulness, the heart remains detached, merely observing without claiming ownership, understanding that attachment is burdensome. Whether it's love or hate, all attachments harm the heart. Enlightened teachers say that knowing leads to detachment, while ignorance leads to attachment. Concentration should not be an object of attachment, but a means to achieving peace. The initial stages of meditation require guidance to avoid getting lost in various experiences. Take the example of a woman who claimed past life knowledge from meditation. She said she had attained knowledge of past lives. The teacher asked if she felt weary of repeated rebirths and saw the suffering in the cycle of existence. Instead, she boasted of once being a serpent. The teacher redirected her, asking if she was free from suffering. The woman then began behaving like a serpent, but the teacher let her be, noting the absurdity of preferring to be an animal. The teacher advised her to stop meditating in that way, calling it distorted. Instead, he told her to remain equanimous, recognizing and releasing whatever arises in the mind, from morning until night. He emphasized recognizing and releasing without meditating. He said that if she could do that, he would be pleased. She followed his advice, doing chores and walking meditation. Though initially she still felt the urge to act like a serpent, she gradually improved, returning to her senses and contemplating the teachings. Eventually, she understood that true release comes from being fully aware. Those who keep their heart in the present moment know how to let go. The woman eventually felt embarrassed by her past behavior and released all attachments. The teacher told her that there was nothing more special than knowing and being true to yourself. The woman finally understood the teacher's instructions to release everything that arose in her mind. She said that if she had not met the teacher, she would still be a serpent. She now understood that the past is the past, and the future is not to be worried about. Only the present can make us enlightened. Desire is what blocks the truth. Knowledge free from desire reveals the truth. Meditators should be aware of their emotions. For example, if you are angry, counter it with loving kindness by radiating it to all beings. If someone is unkind, do not reciprocate with anger, but feel compassion instead, seeing them as suffering loved ones. Focus on cultivating loving kindness and spreading it throughout the world. The most valuable life is one spent helping others. Overcoming selfishness is difficult for most, but easy for the noble. Whether rich or poor, everyone has selfishness. Those who reduce it find great peace. Selfishness often involves harming others, even in acts of charity, where ulterior motives taint the giving. Selfish giving is tainted by desires for recognition, status, wealth, and power. True giving means releasing without expecting anything in return, like spitting out phlegm without regret. Do not be troubled by the outcome of your generosity. If misused, that is the recipient's burden. Detach from the results of your actions. Giving is easy, it's the wanting that complicates it. Just as metal becomes stronger through fire, the heart becomes resilient through adversity. Those who endure to the end achieve the greatest success. Conquering oneself is harder than conquering thousands in battle. One who conquers themselves is the ultimate victor. The Buddha has shown us the path to overcoming ourselves for 2,500 years. When self is conquered, victory and defeat cease to exist. Eliminating selfishness ends suffering. Helping others brings comfort and reduces selfishness, which you can lessen each day a little bit. Reducing selfishness leads to higher spiritual attainments. Resisting negative emotions is crucial to prevent base instincts from dominating. Character shapes destiny. Observing emotions is straightforward. Notice your feelings when listening to music. Does it evoke sadness, displeasure, or appreciation? These are emotions. If pleased, you may become engrossed. If displeased, agitated. To understand why, investigate the cause, distinguishing external from internal factors. Sound is external, received through the ear and recognized by consciousness and memory. Stopping there prevents any impact on the heart, remaining mere awareness. However, when the mind processes the sound and adds thoughts, it creates emotions, pleasure or displeasure. Emotions are the result of mental processing. Therefore, manage emotions by becoming fully aware and using mindfulness. Overcoming thoughts once reveals the path to conquering the heart. Thoughts are constructs. Whoever abandons constructs sees liberation. Therefore, to be liberated, abandon constructs. With mindfulness, seeing everything as impermanent dissolves attachment. Emotions are suffering. Suffering, its cause, its cessation, and the path to its cessation are all in the present moment within our hearts. See it clearly, and you will know how to let go. May these teachings benefit those seeking to end suffering. Thank you.